Now, before this video starts, I just want to say that this script was actually written last year after I released my Gorillaz Lore 1 video. I'd almost edited the whole video, and I was just waiting on my friend to send me a few voice lines for the intro of the video. And then a ton of my files on my computer corrupted, which included basically all of the Gorillaz Lore files, which means I lost all motivation for the project and just procrastinated it until now. And now it's over a year later. I have 5 times the amount of subscribers I did back then, and basically all of them are here for Gorillaz Lore 2. Here you go. And also, Gorillaz Lore 2 has become literally my most requested video of all time, and that's my explanation for why I haven't uploaded it.
Has been going. An album that would have very little in terms of excitement, an album that would only be a Gorillaz album in name. I'm feeling a like it isn't not good.
I'm in a stinking bar, I got dead, I'm at the base.
So at the end of Phase 3, the whole Gorillaz Lore basically hit the Juice WRLD. There are 2 outcomes to Phase 3 now, but I'm only going to focus on the one that leads into Phase 4 and onwards. So after Plastic Beach got... I can't say that. Murdoc fled the island with Cyborg Noodle in a submarine. On his way back to the old land of Britain, Murdoc was captured by EMI, the publisher to Gorillaz music at the time. EMI had been looking literally everywhere for Murdoc, who they threw in Dungeon Abbey, which was a prison dungeon underneath Abbey Road Studios. Murdoc was eventually released under the condition that he had to immediately start working on a new Gorillaz album. He agreed and moved into a home in London. Shortly after Plastic Beach got nuked, Noodle woke up in a small Japanese village and started working as a pearl diver under the apprenticeship of Chiyoko, the woman who'd helped her after she washed up onto the Japanese shore. While working one day, Noodle accidentally released Mazu, a shape-shifting devil that had spent over 500 years trapped in a large pearl at the bottom of the ocean. Noodle spent literal years chasing Mazu. That's probably why the album took 7 years to make. She found Mazu in Tokyo, disguised as a human, having risen to the criminal underworld. Noodle broke into Mazu's headquarters, decapitated Mazu, and escaped in one piece. She put herself in a FedEx crate and addressed it to West London, England, C.O. Murdoc Nichols. Noodle and Russell had got split off the coast of Japan. Being mistaken for a whale due to Russell being a, I quote, thick daddy, he was harpooned by some nerds. He lost consciousness and washed up on the shores of North Korea, where he was carried to Pyongyang and exhibited as fucking Godzilla. Russell became the country's most popular attraction before shrinking back to normal size due to malnutrition. The North Koreans were like, No. He was sent back to London, where he moved into Murdoc's house, and they started working on the new Gorillaz album, Humans, which, fans were... well, they weren't too happy.
Oh, let's go! That's class!
Now you may be wondering, what happened to 2D? Well, 2D was swallowed whole by Massive Dick, the whale that scared him throughout his time spent on Plastic Beach. Shortly after, Massive Dick died and washed up on the shore of a deserted island. 2D got himself out of Massive Dick and then survived months solely off of eating Massive Dick's dead body. Then he realized that he was actually not on a deserted island, but actually on Guadalupe Island off the coast of Mexico. He walked 30 minutes before finding a beach hotel and spent the rest of the year there on vacation before finally heading home to England, where he was picked up by a driver Murdoc hired and was reunited with the band. The band recorded throughout the entirety of 2016. Finally completing their first album in 7 years in 2017. Murdoc decided to release the album by throwing the party to end all parties in a haunted house in Detroit known as the Spirit House. When the band first arrived at the house in the Saturn's Bar music video, they were haunted by 3 demons. A giant one-eyed blue worm attacked Noodle, a gray multi-limbed monster approached Russell, and a giant floating pizza slice attacked 2D. In the strobe light music video, 2D and Noodle were vibing on the dance floor, Russell was asleep, and Murdoc was taking a selfie with a fan. Turns out the person he was talking to didn't want a selfie, and he also wasn't even a fan. Murdoc ended up doing some shady shit with a demon crime lord and mafia man El Mierda. Murdoc got arrested because, so the band did the only logical thing and hired Ace of the Powerpuff Girls to replace Murdoc as bassist for the album they were making, the Now Now. Murdoc also made the biggest power move by accepting the Brit Award Gorillaz received in jail.
Sorry my bandmates can't be with me. I'm detained by your Madge. Not the American Madge, our Brit Madge. Thanks to all the fab artists, management, Phil the driver, Keith my Zumba teacher, Sid the Psycho Smith, my friend Hacksaw, Harry, Jack Cyrus the Virus, Big Balls McGuinness, no Balls McKinney, Long Lenny.
In the Humility music video, Russell, Noodle, and Ace were vibing on the Venice boardwalk in Los Angeles, while a happy Tootie, for a change, roller skates around the boardwalk, enjoying his new life without Murdoc constantly being an abusive father. This is visualized with Tootie's eyes being a bright white instead of the usual sad black. At the end of the video, Russell trips Tootie, causing him to lose his mojo, making him depressed again. After which he loses his ability to roller skate and immediately falls a second time, like a fucking idiot. Also, Jack Black was there for some reason. So back to Murdoc. He was arrested because El Mierda framed him for smuggling. He was framed. Again. Murdoc decided to escape prison again and track down El Mierda, but he couldn't bribe his way out since Noodle had frozen his bank account because she thought that Murdoc had done the smuggling, which is actually completely reasonable. Yeah, I get Noodle. He thought to himself that fighting the strongest guy in the prison, Big Balls McGuinness, was a good idea. After losing the fight to Big Balls, he set his sights on Vlad the Inhaler, an associate of El Mierda. Murdoc recruited a fan to catfish the Inhaler, getting close enough to him to find the whereabouts of El Mierda. And for once, Murdoc's plan actually worked. He got the coordinates to Big Dick, El Mierda's hidey hole in Patagonia. Murdoc finally got Noodle to help him. Noodle was ignoring all of his calls, and she only agreed to help after realizing that the demon El Mierda is a soul harvester that probably took Tootie's soul. Murdoc had decided to escape again through the fucking sewers, and then bad happened, so he was assumed to have drowned in sewage while trying to escape. Meanwhile, the rest of the band were just vibing. 2 weeks later, Noodle arrived at the coordinates. But instead of some massive evil mega base, she found a fucking spa. El Mierda had actually quit his life of soul stealing and crime. She also found out that El Mierda was not the man Murdoc did the shady stuff with. Noodle researched the details of Murdoc's imprisonment and found out that he was not sent to prison for smuggling, but because Murdoc had amassed so many parking fines. He was only meant to serve 9 months and would have been released the same day he drowned. Noodle figured out that Murdoc basically made the whole story up, blaming his crime on the man from the strobe light video for attention, who turned out to be some guy called Juan. So eventually Noodle found a yak. Tied onto the yak was Murdoc. He described the story as mostly bollocks. The only clue as to why he survived was a mysterious person or thing he saw while in the sewer. His near-death experience gave him the epiphany that headlines weren't worth lying for, and putting Noodle in unnecessary danger. He then said something that didn't follow his character at all. Noodle and Murdoc then figured out that 2D's difference in character was just him simply enjoying Murdoc not abusing him, or as Murdoc put it, just missing me. When Noodle and Murdoc returned to the band, Murdoc said that he was going to change.
It makes me sick to think you and happy in your skin is worth it. To think like walk on blink, it just flickers to them.
While visiting Iran to see Lake Urmia, Noodle said, global warming equals bad. She sent a postcard to Murdoc, 2D, and Russell at Studio 13 with a message saying, let's make a machine. The Song Machine was activated on the 28th of January. The following day, the band announced their next project, Song Machine, which was a playlist of songs/music videos released throughout 2020 in episodes. Throughout Song Machine, the band brings musicians they met around the world and make songs with them. They also teleport through doors and portals and shit. I don't know why. In Momentary Bliss, Murdoc drinks poison and also gives some to Jamie because actually, I have no fucking clue why. Just moving on. He ends up throwing up at the end of the video. He also vomits cum, which I think is great. 2D is clearly happy about this, and the video ends. In Destiny, 2D and
Fatoumata Diawara
speak French on a boat while monsters shoot lasers and terrorize the country. Murdoc is also depressed because he didn't get to go on the fun teleportation door trick thing, and he just cried throughout the entire video. It was kind of sad. In a statement to the press, Russell said, Song Machine is a whole new way of doing what we do. Gorillaz breaking the mold because the mold got old. Murdoc buys 2D a Pac-Man arcade cabinet, which turns out to be haunted, so Noodle unplugs it, and they go to the moon and blow up a billboard. And then 2D plays a piano with Elton John while Murdoc goes ghost hunting. Then when he catches one, he puts it in the trunk of his car when a portal sucks them into GTA 5. So they just drive around until they get caught in a portal, which transports them back to Plastic Beach when a giant sea monster uses his laser eyes to blow up Plastic Beach. So they use another portal and go to, who knows where. That's it. I'm done. Ah, shit. Ah, fuck. So if you enjoyed it, it's finally over with, and you're all up to date with Gorillaz Lore. I want to say thank you again. When I recorded this video, I had like 500 or something subscribers, and now I have almost 1.1 thousand. Gorillaz Lore 1 is also on like 120,000 views or something crazy like that. And now that I have the motivation to edit videos again, I'm pretty excited as to what's to come. Again, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one. Also, the majority of my viewers aren't actually subscribed to my YouTube channel, so